Leader and GOP gubernatorial candidate Patricia Morgan for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a busy day. You had a big event this morning,
Yes.
launching your blueprint for a stronger Rhode Island. I've got the bullet points, but talk with us about how the event went.
It went very well. Obviously, I think people want to know what we stand for as candidates. And these are the first two parts of my plan. It's a blueprint for Rhode Island. These two are the economic development and the government accountability is what we're calling it.
Okay, so are you kind of on the campaign trail, kind of the no-toll governor?
I am the no-toll governor. I will take down the gantries that are up and I will stop tolls. We don't need them. We've never needed them.
And, you know, we're seeing the time frame from the rollout here. I mean, what are you hearing from folks in terms of this proposal?
From
the no tolls, yeah.
Actually, it's been good. You know, they're really concrete, they're proven ideas. I have Payfors, so I just didn't throw out ideas. I actually have ways to pay for the ideas, and they absolutely will make Rhode Island stronger. They'll help our economy get better, keep our children here, make us more prosperous.
So let's talk a little bit about what those pay-fors look like for a number of things to, as you put it, reduce the burden on Rhode Islanders. How would we fill that gap?
Most of it is from waste, fraud, and abuse. So we already have a kind of a fledgling lean government program, but I really want to make it a robust one. Other states have used it. I think most states have now started performance management lean government, and the results are incredible. I'm only saying that we're going to get $6 million worth of savings from it, but I think it's going to be much more. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit out there. We can make government more efficient, more effective, and cost less.
Okay, this sort of segues here into you've been a strong proponent of establishing an Office of Inspector General.
Yep, that's another one. An Inspector General, let me see, there's 38 states that already have an Inspector General of some kind. The data tells me that for every dollar you spend for an Inspector General, you get $12 to $18 back. So I am absolutely going to have an Office of the Inspector General inside my administration. You know, Governor Chafee was able to start Health Source Rhode Island with an executive order. I'm going to start an Inspector General's office with an executive order. And
one of the things we heard again from folks too regarding that was there's some upfront costs, but do you believe the findings will offset it? But you know, talk about that first year.
Absolutely. So I'm proposing that we spend about $3.5 million to start the office, which is the Inspector General, inspectors, auditors, all the people that you need. And I've only said 10 times in savings. So I'm saying we'll make $30 million. I honestly think that there's much more to be had, but we'll start with that.
So speaking of government structuring or restructuring, if you will, one of your bullet points today, repurposing Commerce RI from the corporate model it currently uses in establishing 3 additional state business parks, Quonset North, Quonset East Bay, and Quonset South, to advocate for local businesses. So this is a really outside-the-box idea.
Well, so Commerce Rhode Island has just been an agency to give out corporate welfare at this point. I think it's been being poorly used. What we're getting is hotel deals, but we're not really getting economic development out of it, and it's costing us a lot of money. Last year was $90 million, this year $62 million. What I want to do is absolutely repurpose Commerce Rhode Island. First of all, I want to take the existing personnel and make them advocates for business. I want them to come up to the State House and tell us this policy hurts, that practice hurts. I want them to be in our departments, making them more business friendly. But the Quonset parks, we know that Quonset has been an absolute diamond for us in Rhode Island. They have a process, a model in place, and it has brought really high quality companies and jobs here. Companies that hire Rhode Islanders, not companies that hire out-of-state people and bring them here. So I want to use that same model, have one in the north, we'll call it Quonset North for right now, one on the East Bay.
These are just placeholder names.
Quonset, East Bay, and one in the south. Obviously the one in the north and East Bay will really, I think, help us attract people from Massachusetts, entrepreneurs, to come start your business here, as long as we're business friendly. So that's why the two things work together. We need to make Rhode Island more business friendly, but we need to make a place where they can come, start start a company just like that and get going.
What do you think has been the backbone of the success at Quonset? Like, so what would you replicate in these additional areas?
So they do pre-permitting. They're very, very business friendly. They help companies, but if a company comes to Quonset and says, I want to build 50,000 square feet, they can be up and running in a month.
The pre-permit's a huge part of it.
The pre-permitting is a huge part of it. They are helpmates, but that's the biggest part. That's absolutely the biggest part.
Okay, a very outside-the-box idea. Speaking of Rhode Islanders and keeping Rhode Islanders in Rhode Island, strengthening the connections between career and tech schools, employers, and CCRI, beginning grant programs for employer-based apprenticeships, and offering tax credits for companies that offer college loan and repayment programs to combat the brain drain. So we talk about this so much, this pipeline to retain talent here in the state. Talk with us how this would differ from the current administration.
Well, right now we're offering free tuition, and we're getting a lot of failure. And I think that hurts children, by the way. It hurts taxpayers, but I think it hurts the children who go, they say, oh, I'm going to get a college education, and then it doesn't happen because they're not equipped. What we will pay for is success. So right now we are the third highest state for losing college graduates. So nearly 70% of our college graduates get great educations here and then leave because there's opportunities elsewhere. And our employees are having a hard time keeping them here. I want to offer a tax credit to employers who set up a program to help their college graduates pay off their college loans. I think that's the one thing we can do to say, you've succeeded, you've gone through college, you've got your diploma, you've got a job, we're going to help you pay off those college loans.
Okay, that was one of the bullet points for the education component. Finally, ending the practice of scoops. No scoops.
You know, first of all, it's one-time revenue, which adds to a structural deficit. Everybody hears that word and they don't know quite what that means. It means we keep plugging holes with one-time revenue, but we have rated, or the governor has rated, I haven't, the governor has rated our trash collection. We're paying for that in our property taxes. She's taking that money for state government. Electric bills, telephone bills, DMV fees, Narragansett Bay Commission. I mean, she has just kind of tick through. This year it's $17.5 million that she wants in this one-time revenue from ratepayers, from our electric bills, our trash pickup. We're just going to eliminate that. It shouldn't be happening. It's bad for the budget. It's bad for ratepayers. We're going to stop it.
You know, it is interesting because we knew at the outset, at the beginning of the year, that the FY18 budget was looking at a potential $60 million shortfall. We know for FY19, granted the revenue estimating conference is going on now, but the projections leading up to it were close to $200 million. You can't scoop your way out of $200 million. No,
and remember, it's just one-time revenue. It's not revenue that repeats. So we just really have to make government more efficient. There is so much waste. When I was studying the tolls, I actually went through the budget. I found $1 billion worth of waste over 10 years. There's a lot of waste there. We can take it, squeeze it out, and use it to make our economy better, put more money in the wallets of Rhode Islanders. When they spend the money on the things that are important to them, they actually make our economy stronger. We need to do that.
So these were some of the points from the blueprint for a stronger Rhode Island. You said there's more to come.
Well, there's one more that I would like to highlight. You know, I have a cable ad going on now because one of our representatives proposed bribing people with $10,000 to come to Rhode Island. We have now military retirees, and we are still taxing their pensions. We are one of the few New England states, I think there's one other New England state that taxes military pensions, which means we have this war college that brings them here. We have a great defense industry, and the defense industry needs those kinds of folks. They understand the military and what's necessary. But because we tax their pensions, they leave. The cost of that is $4 million. It is a drop in the bucket. So it is going to be one of my priorities to stop taxing military pensions. We need to keep the military folks here. Here's another thing. Rhode Island's National Guard is one of the most deployed guards in all the states. So we're the second highest.
Wow.
They really have given a lot. I think we need to thank them for that.
And so you talk about that $4 million just on the ledger sheet, but we know what the multiplier impact is. That's just simply from revenue standpoint, but for people staying here, I'm sure it's even higher than that.
They leave that money here, they spend it, but on top of that, they have leadership skills, they have tools and knowledge that our defense industry needs. They will just make Rhode Island stronger.
Well, I appreciate your taking the time. You had the big event this morning, laying this all out, to stop here in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center on your way up to the State House. I'm sure we'll talk with you soon.
Thank you, Kate.
Okay, Patricia Morgan, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We've got a special guest here before the 3 o'clock show in the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center.